All right, we are recording. Thank you guys so much for coming today. I know it's a Sunday and everybody has lots going on. Sorry, I was going back and forth between the chat. I just saw the chat. Okay, but I know Michelle, McKenna, and I have been talking about putting together a group like this for a while, and we were just kind of chatting back and forth, and we were just all three like, we felt like, oh, Team Cup's coming up. And we're like, you know what? No, like, let's just do this thing now. Like, there's no better time to really build momentum in your business than right now. And I applaud you guys for wanting to take this on, because we are going to really challenge you and set you to some pretty high standards in this group. And I want to preface this by, this is not us saying do X, Y, and Z and your business will, you'll be a 5-star diamond by the end of the coach, by the end of the year, but we're going to challenge you to show up in maybe ways that you haven't been showing up in your business, that's going to bridge that gap between where you've been in your business and where you want to see yourself going. Because when it comes down to it, you guys, I'm going to be really honest, everyone in this group is either pushing to diamond or beyond. There's some of coaches pushing for star diamond ranks in this group, and some people pushing to diamond for the first time. And there's certain behaviors as a coach you have to have that even the top coaches in the top 10, like they just announced the top 10 coaches have, that sometimes we discount as coaches, thinking, oh, well, I don't really have to do that to grow my business. I don't really have to hit Success Club every month. I don't really have to bring on 2 new coaches. Like, yes, you do. If you want to be a diamond coach and beyond and grow a residual income that's going to change your and your family's life, because that's possible, because it's happened for me, it's been happening to other people on our team, I've seen it happen, that you have to be consistent with showing up, with hitting Success Club every single month and adding coaches to your team every month. Now, when we talk about diamond, we talk about, it seems very scary sometimes. You're like, because all of a sudden you go from you to a team. And I think growing a team sounds really intimidating, but let's back it up for a second, because diamond really is adding coaches, whether they be discount or working coaches to your team, that helps grow, obviously, your team volume for cycle bonuses. It helps build that residual income. It does not necessarily mean that you all of a sudden your umbilical cord is cut and you're off on your own to grow this team and you're left to fend for yourself. That's not what diamond is. Diamond is saying, I'm ready to level up in my business. I'm ready to start seeing more of an income, more of a residual income, and I'm ready to start doing the actions of a leader in this business. It doesn't mean that you have to feel like you're going to lead this team all by yourself. That's what we're here for. We're here to help you bridge those gaps between what you're doing now and how to help other people do the same thing. Because if you can sign up a coach, and every single person on here has signed up a coach, whether it's your husband, your best friend, your mom, or whoever, you've done that. So now your job is to teach other people to do that. That's it. You don't have to have some crazy leadership experience. Your job is to just do what you did and find other people to teach that to. McKenna, she's texting. Yes, the call. She's like, the calls right now? Oh, Lord. Okay, so I'll watch for her. But I just want to lead with that as we go into this group, because it is simple. Diamond is 12 coaches. I say this all the time. It's not 100, it's 12. And that doesn't mean you're going to find 12 people like me or any of you on this team that want to grow a business. That doesn't mean any of those people have to be driven to be an entrepreneur or build this business. Maybe they just want the discount. Maybe they're a military person. Maybe they're a spouse. Part of getting to diamond is just leveling up and being creative and saying, how am I going to get there? And that's what this group is going to teach you guys. So I just want to lead with that, because I think it's important to have expectations for yourself, because these are not expectations that I want to put on you. I want you to have these expectations for yourself as you grow your business. But I'm just sharing what I have learned over the last 6 years as a coach, and what are the things that have helped me see success. Because like I just said, I learned how to do this. Now I'm helping others do it. Same as signing up anyone as a coach, right? So with that being said, I want to dive in a little bit to how the structure of this group is going to go. We're going to be here for 30 days together. you all paid in $20 into this pot. And that's, that's just kind of a fun thing we do to kind of say, put your money where your mouth is. It's a fun thing to have a prize at the end. Our goal is to obviously not only hit diamond or beyond, but sign up, people to join your team. And the person or people who sign the most coaches by the end of our 30 days will win or split the pot. And I apologize, I have not tallied the total yet. I'll pop that on the page today later and let you know what the total is. But it's just fun. So it's a fun way to kind of push for something, get a little incentive in there. And obviously you're going to be growing your business at the same time, which is going to be growing your income. So that's really the whole goal. And then within our group, so here's kind of how it will be broken down and what we expect of you. So later today, each of you will have a graphic posted in our Level Up group, and it's a diamond watch graphic. And us as your coaches have created these graphics, and they include all the current active and inactive coaches within your downline. And this is just a visual for each of you to see where your business is, where your holes are, and also give you that visual of like, I'm close to diamond, like I can do this. And whether you have a million inactive coaches or active coaches, just know that this is just a tool for you to watch your progress over the next 30 days. So that being said,
sorry to interrupt.
Oh, go ahead.
The princess is in the waiting room.
Oh, she's here now.
Oh, okay.
Princess is here. I'm like, she's the one that wanted the call at 12.
Dude, we had to move our 2 couches from upstairs downstairs, and we scraped the ish out of the handrail, and like,
oh no.
John was like, take a second, take a breather. I'm like, it was the most stressful thing ever, but John's like, we can do it ourselves. I'm like, that was fun. So sorry about that. It took like an hour.
It's all good. Okay, so with those diamond watch graphics, every day your job is to show up in this group, and underneath your diamond watch graphic, show up with what activities you did to move your business forward. And guys, if you did nothing, I want you to write, I did nothing, because you have to realize like that is okay too, as long as nothing is not what you're doing consistently. But there's some days, you guys, with my schedule, I don't show up with my business because I can't, and it's not my priority. So then I prioritize what I need to get done for the following day when I can sit down and really hustle. So each day you can post your tracker, a picture of your tracker, whether you use the Success Club system tracker or a notebook or your Rise Up planner, whatever it is that you do to track your business, or if it's a Google sheet, just snap a picture of it, or just type out like I sent 12 invites, or I'm talking to so-and-so. Again, whatever it is for you. You don't need to add that you did your workout and drank your shake, because I feel like those are pretty obvious for people in this group that we're all doing those things, or at least I hope so, because that's the most important thing you need to be doing. So really just comment with those business building activities and what you did that day to move your business forward. We will also have a ring the bell graphic. So this is where you'll keep track. I'm going to pin this to the top of the group, and every time you sign a coach, you'll put their name in the ring the bell comments, and that's how we'll keep track of how many coaches everyone's adding. Oh, and with your diamond watch graphic, after we post them today, I want you to type in the comments, your first post there will be your goals for the next 30 days. How many coaches you want to sign up, maybe how many coaches you need to get to diamond. Maybe you want to get your spouse to emerald, because that is one of the easiest ways to get to diamond. If you don't have a ton of coaches within your downline yet, I'd say hold off on making your spouse emerald until the very last minute. That should be the last place you add coaches to, if that's your goal. So you'll have the ring the bell graphic. And then I'd love, if Sundays work for everybody, I would love to pop on a Zoom, even if it's just a quick 20-30 minutes, to kind of reconvene for the week. I want to hear how things are going, and we can kind of create as like this mastermind group of what's going well. We can recognize people who are crushing it and ask them what they're doing and talk about what struggles we're having, so we all can just brainstorm together. Because I think this is the best part, and what we miss out on with having like live events with each other is that the collaboration that always happens when we get together. So let's use this group as kind of that, to be able to connect with each other, brainstorm, game plan, all that stuff. And then lastly, we're not going to really have a structure to challenges, like post challenges. We may just pop up every few times in the week, a challenge for you guys. Like, I'm just going to use like an income post for an example. Like Thursdays, we get paid. I want everyone to share an income post today or tomorrow, and then post your income post so we all can go and like it and comment on it. So we kind of have this circle of connections going with each other too. Okay. But that's kind of the basics of how the group is going to run. Michelle or McKenna, if you have things you want to add.
I was just going to add, when we're talking about building ourselves to diamond, when it comes to building a spouse's account, kind of like Kinsey said, waiting until you're almost there. But I think most importantly, you have to remember always first and foremost your business. So first, hitting Success Club, non-negotiable in your business center. So don't be signing coaches under your spouse and getting him Success Club points if you don't have it locked in yourself. So first and foremost, remember your business is first priority, and then you can go over. So sprint to getting Success Club at, in the next, the first beginning part. I mean, obviously we're kind of going to overlap over a 2-month span, but make sure the start of the month you get yours locked in, and then you can focus on if you're getting close and you need to build someone else to Emerald. But first and foremost, you should never miss Success Club in your own business. That's always first priority.
Mm-hmm. And then, I wanted to add too, I meant to say this. I wanted to give you guys opportunities within this group to like grow. Obviously we want our coaches to hit Emerald. So we're going to be hosting an Emerald push group on February 8th. So right now is the time between now and February 8th to sign up coaches so you can plug them into that Emerald push group so they can hit Emerald quickly. And then we're also going to be hosting a What is Coaching call on February 11th. So I strategically put that at the same week of that Emerald push group so that your new coaches who are pushing to Emerald can invite people to that Emerald or that What is Coaching webinar. And you guys, I wanted to have these things in place so we have things to always be inviting to, but you do not have to wait for our groups. You can go off and hold your own What is Coaching webinar. I can give you slides. If you want to team up with another coach within this group, go for it. Take ownership of your business. If these dates don't work good for you or your life, make an event that does work well for your life, and just host your own or host it via Instagram Live. Like, it doesn't have to be anything super formal or structured, but you just have to always be inviting to something. Emerald Push is a 5-day group, just to clarify, the 8th through the 12th. So it'll be a 5-day group.
And one thing that I used a lot, if I couldn't make a What is Coaching call, I would just send a pre-recorded one, that one that I felt really spoke to me. There was one that Kelly did like 5 years ago that I just thought was really well done when I first started out coaching. And I used that one for a long time until I started doing my own calls. So feel free to find one that's already been made.
Yeah, don't feel the need to recreate the wheel, for sure.
Exactly. The other thing is just to kind of put it in perspective with coaches, because all the time, and myself included, I'm like, I got to get business coaches. I got to get business coaches. But like, in the grand scheme of things, I have 32 personally sponsored coaches, and I have 5 coaches that work the business. So basically 1 in 6 out of all my coaches are going to actually work the business. And when I say working the business, they might not be doing it full time either. They might just be doing it part time, and they might not be hitting Success Club every single month, but they're trying. So you just want to find people who are willing to work. Don't feel like you have to go out and find an Emily Faber or anything like that, but you just have to have people who are excited about it and willing to push. The other thing is, the biggest game changer for me, my first year coaching, I would hit Success Club on and off. And finally, after I went to Diamond Retreat, and I tell the story all the time, but I was in the airport with McKenna and Kinsey, and they said, like, you have to make Success Club a non-negotiable. And like, I would hit it often, but I didn't hit it every single month. And so what I started doing is having this mindset of, I'm going to hit Success Club no matter what. And when they say non-negotiable, I mean no matter what. If you have to go buy a challenge pack, then that's what you need to do. And the moment that I took on that mindset that if I don't hit Success Club, I'm gonna have to buy a challenge pack. I started working so much harder. So you can either afford $480 and you can shovel that out every single month to buy 3 challenge packs, or you can work your stinking booty off and just do it. And since I've made that commitment, the number of times I've had to buy a challenge pack, once, and I did it for a gift for my cousin, and that was it. But it's all about having that mindset. And if you really, like I told my husband, if I don't hit Success Club, I'm buying a challenge pack. And he was like, no, you're not doing that. You're not buying no stinking challenge pack for anybody. But I had to work that way. And it's all about just having that mindset and making it no matter what.
Yes, I love that. I've heard a top coach once say, if you got to sell a challenge pack to your grandma, you sell a challenge pack to your grandma and make it happen. And that's just that mindset switch. Like you said, it's the mindset switch between like, oh, I could do this, but like, no, my business will crumble if this doesn't happen. Like, that's how I take it. Like, I know if I don't hit Success Club, my business is not going to crumble, but that's not what I think in my mind. So it's just that mindset switch that you have to have. I also wanted to talk about, now I just lost my train of thought. I forget what I was going to say, but it was about something about Success Club. But yes, it is a priority. And with, like McKenna said, obviously your business center is your priority. And then if you have questions about building a spouse account, talk to your coach directly or post it in the push group, because there is strategy behind it. And we don't want you to think like, oh, I have to build my spouse all of a sudden. It's like, no, we'll get there. I also wanted to share with you guys, like McKenna, Michelle, and I, even though we're hosting this group and helping you guys reach your goals, we are actually pushing right alongside of you. I am currently trying to get my spouse's account to Diamond. I just signed him up the first of the year. I had to re-sign him up. Long story. Anyway, strategy, because he wasn't placed in a place that was financially beneficial for my business. So I canceled him 6 months ago and re-signed him up. So I just made him an Emerald coach. I signed him up 2 weeks ago. He's Emerald. My goal is to get him Diamond by the end of this group. And I'm like hell-bent on that happening. So don't think that we're sitting here at our rank that we are right there in the trenches with you, pushing right alongside of you. I know McKenna's doing the same and Michelle's doing the same. Again, there's people pushing for Star Diamond ranks in this group too. And there's also people who were Diamond who are working back towards getting their solid Diamond back. So we're all at different places, but we're all here pushing in the trenches together. Oh, Tara asked, Michelle, what's the other planner you're using?
I'm using the Track Your Hustle planner. It's from Kate Bullard. It is a little, I was going to tell you, it's a little bit more, it could be viewed as more overwhelming. There's a lot of like things. So I'm trying this one for 6 months to see if I like it better than the Rise Up, but I feel like you can't go wrong with whatever. But I can post some pictures in the Rise Up or in the group page of the Rise Up and the other one. You can kind of see what works for you.
Awesome.
I need one where I can keep all my like thoughts and ideas and everything. Like I have a spreadsheet on people that I reach out to, but like meetings like this and National Wake Up Call, I've started so many binders. I'm like this with my job. I'm like this with everything. Like I'll start a journal and a binder and then I put it somewhere and then I go and grab another one at the next meeting because it's right next to me and I've got shit everywhere. And I'm going to put a loose leaf paper. I have 4 loose leaf papers from my last couple of meetings with people. So I need like a planner where I can take notes. I can literally have everything in. I'm a teacher guy. I'm like, I should be way better at this. And for some reason, I am not wrapping my brain around organization.
So the Rise Up planner, it has a spot for like team calls in the back. Mm-hmm. One thing I started doing, because Michelle kind of mentioned this about her planner, but part of the Rise Up planner is it has like the daily, hourly time schedule. Mm-hmm. And for me personally, like that makes me more overwhelmed than scheduling, like especially with work, because it can change the day before. So what I started doing in those spots, because there's 1, 2, 3, 4. There's like 17 slots in there. So what I started doing is writing down a list of 10 people that I just go to their Facebook page and start liking, commenting, and connecting. So I write those 10 names, and then below I use the rest of the spots to write who I invited or who I followed up with. Just because I don't normally like track that as great. I track in the spot that's like the hot list if they're interested. But I wanted to start tracking who I invite, and I used to do it on Google Drive, and it was just so time consuming, and I felt like it was kind of a waste. So I found having that spot and using it as names, and like having my challenge be to fill up the names, and then I can the next week go back and look and maybe reconnect with those people. There's also a spot in the back that's called Book of Proof. You're supposed to write in there just like things to celebrate and like wins. But it's like literally full pages for every week. So you can also use like part of that for note taking if you wanted to. And then I buy the hard spine and I just spiral it myself. So what I did one year is I think Kinsey did this. She took out half of it and spiraled like the daily tracker, and then the call note section and the Book of Proof she left separate, so it was smaller and easier to carry with you. So there's options. I think it's finding like what works for you. I've also seen people that will just do the Business Success Club, like the Beachbody tracker, print 52 of them for each week, spiral them. You can do that, and you can also take a stack of computer paper, lined paper, add that, and have it all in one. Like it doesn't have to be anything complicated. Yeah, I took it Office Max, they cut off the spine, spiraled it, and then I had them put the clear in the front and the back to kind of protect it. It cost like $4 or $5.
Dang, that's awesome. I saw your photos of that before when you posted your tracker, and I was like, how do you get that? Because like the hardbind book, it's just hard to like keep the pages like creased.
Yeah. Yep.
And I think that kind of makes it overwhelming too, because I'm sitting there trying to work in it.
Yeah.
And then like my pages keep flopping, and I just get like super annoyed that I just like stop doing it.
And she sells a spiraled one, but it's like $65 or something. And I'm pretty sure this was like 25 or 30. And I don't even know if these ones are still available. I just bought like 4 of them.
Yeah, I think it just takes like trial and error and seeing what works for you. I've tried a million different planners and things, and just keep showing up, just keep being consistent. You don't have to have a perfect system, but just have something that works for you. And whether you have to go through a few duds to get to it. One thing I also wanted to encourage you guys that I meant to talk about at the top of the call was over the next 30 days and beyond, really, because obviously our focus here is growing our teams and getting to Diamond, that you have to be talking about coaching. You have to be talking about how coaching has changed your life. And I'm not talking about a paycheck. I'm talking about what are the things that your life is better now because of coaching, or what things has it brought to your life? And even if you're talking about the same things every week, that's okay. Not everyone's going to see your stuff all the time. You can be a broken record. There's so many times I feel like I'm posting the same thing over and over and over again. And then there's that one person, that one day when I almost didn't post it because I'm like, I've been saying the same thing. No one's commenting, no one's liking, no one's engaging. And then this girl texts me out of the blue, didn't comment, didn't like on my post. Hey, so I really want to know more about coaching. I need to do this. They're watching, you guys. People are watching. That's why you have to keep showing up and you have to keep talking about it. And I'm probably the worst person to even say that, because I feel like I don't talk about coaching enough. So we all can improve and be better at that. And just don't think you're being a broken record. I'd say shoot for 3 times a week on your social media, whether it's through stories or a post. Share something about coaching, or share something you have coming up. Share about this group. Say we got like-minded people in here pushing for big goals together. And that's what I love about this business, is that it's women supporting women, and that they're driven and go-getters, and everyone needs more of that in their life. Like, that's a post right there. And that talks about coaching. And then put a call to action at the end of it. Like, you want to be a part of our tribe? Message me. And then probably no one will like and comment on it, but that's okay. You posted it.
I was going to say, one thing that kind of has helped me is having like a note section in my phone. And sometimes I'll just sit down and literally dump all the reasons why I love coaching, or all the blessings that have come from coaching in this business, and like every avenue. And then as I get ideas, just adding in my notes section. So you're like, I need to make a post about coaching. So you can look and be like, do I want to talk about maybe someone I met through coaching? Do I want to talk about the financial gain? Do I want to talk about the confidence, how it's helped me stay accountable? Like every little thing and different avenue you can talk about that, how it's helped you. Because, some people like the financial talk might not stand up out to them. I know a lot of people who are like, I didn't start coaching because of the money. I didn't need the money. So if you have different avenues, it's going to touch, you know, people's feels differently. And there's multiple blessings within being a coach and also being a challenger, different avenues that you can talk about. So you're not just talking about, oh, sharing, I just worked out. And also, I want to encourage you to take it one level deeper. I think so often I was really good. I used to be like, got my workout in today, was really hard, but I'm glad I did it. And it's like, okay, that means nothing. So maybe talk about what was your mindset going into your workout, you know, how did you feel during, and then what did you take away from it? Or, you know, just, I want to challenge you when you do a post, they don't all have to be super deep paragraphs, because there needs to be some like real life. You need to be doing at least 50% real life, not beach body health and fitness, if not more. But some can be short and sweet, but some like take it a level deeper and really talk about maybe how life was before and how it's differently, or what was your mindset before, was it differently? Just really before you hit, are you adding value? Are you sharing a message? Is there like a point to it? Or are you just showing people like, I worked out today? I used to do that all the time. I showed Kinsey, I was laughing. I'd post this and I'd go, got my workout in today. And that was my caption. I don't know why I wasn't in Success Club 30 with that, but
at least you were posting it. You were showing up. One challenge. Okay, before I go to kind of the last thing I want to say, I want to open it up to you guys and hear. So we know how to best support you over these next 30 days and challenge you. What are things that you feel like you're struggling with, or like, obviously that was great to talk about the planners and those kind of things. That's what I love about these groups. But what things are you struggling with? What can we help you with more in terms of like inviting to coaching or building your team? Like, what specifically do you need help with, or that we can provide more resources for?
McKenna was just talking about how she like would write down, like, I don't know if you said like 10 people you were talking to, or like if you're commenting on their pictures or whatever, but I'd like to get more organized in that aspect. So, I mean, if you guys do that, I don't do that. And I think that's where I need to like, that's how I need to keep track of the new people that I'm adding and all that good stuff. Like, I don't do that. I don't know how to do that, I guess.
so I can share what I do. It's no like perfect system, but when it comes to adding people on your Facebook page, if you go to your profile, the first 9 pictures that show are your most recently added people. So if you add 3 people a day, then 3 to 5, then each day you can go to that list of the 9 and click on their page and then interact a bit with them. For me, I don't track interactions very much, but I will give you this. What I do is I go to someone's page, one of my friends that's not a coach, then I click on their friends list and I look. The very top names are the people you already interact with and see a lot. They will bump to the top. So I will scroll down a bit and I'll just see names like, oh, I've never, like, I don't remember who they are, or I haven't talked to them. And I will just I'll keep their friends list on a tab. I open a new tab of their profile. I like and comment on a few of their profile pictures. And then I go to the next and I try and do 5 or 10. The goal of that is, for me, tracking is not as important, but I know if I interact with them, I will see them on my newsfeed and they will see me on their newsfeed. So my goal is always creating those interactions. So they start seeing my stuff and hopefully they start seeing my invites or they start seeing my stories. Ideally, they're in my stories because if they viewed my stories, that is fair game. And that's where I always invite to. So I just want them to see my stuff. And every once in a while, my post, I'll like mention, I shared more about this on my story, or like Instagram or Facebook story saw it first, and just kind of plant the seed that hopefully people will get there and view it. So I track it just for curiosity's sake. I can refer back, but I don't spend too much time doing it. I think that at the end of the day, your goal is that they're seeing your stuff. So do what feels right. That's just what I've done. But figuring out the most recent friends are on your profile, that's been a game changer, because I was writing down everybody I was adding, but not everyone was approving me. So I felt like it was a waste of time.
I do similar. So I don't track who I'm connecting with. because like McKenna said, it's just the hopes that they start following you more in your stories. And then when I see people, new names pop up on my stories, that's who I invite. And then I will track those conversations, but I don't track the connections necessarily, because that would just be too overwhelming. Go ahead, Tara.
Actually, I just started doing kind of the same thing, but I am tracking who I connect with because I'm not good with that necessarily. And I also know same thing that McKenna and Kinsey said, that, and I tell my coaches, like, the more you interact with people, the more your stuff is going to pop up into their newsfeed and they're going to see more of it. So it took me a little while. It was probably a little OCD, but I made a list, like a weekly, it was like 6 weeks, and I took everybody, like I went through my friends list, and there were people I'm like, who is this person? I've never once seen their name pop up. Like, we're friends, we have mutual friends, but I've never once even seen their stuff pop up on my page. So I have like a list of like 50 people, and each week I'm trying to hit like 10 people a day that I literally just do like a touch point and they're on their page. So either I like a story that they're doing, or and I have it on a spreadsheet in Google, or in Google Drive, and I'm just highlighting it. Now, if they don't have anything from like a month ago, I'm not even going to, because then I feel like I'm fishing for, stuff. But anybody who has something new, I might just like it, or I'd be like, oh, cute picture of your kid, blah, 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 something very brief. And I have definitely seen, I just started this like 2 weeks ago, and I have seen people who I've never really interacted with before popping up and liking my stuff again. So it definitely, and now you don't necessarily need to track it, but it's definitely worth doing though.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, and another thing you can do is like,
they say I'm highlighting them, so then I just color their box, so I know that I've reached out to them, and I won't probably like do a touch point for another month or 2 months with them, but it's there.
One thing you can also do, if you don't want to like put it into a Google spreadsheet, like you can just go through your friends list. It's alphabetized. Start at A and work your way, like do 25 a day. I feel like you could do 10 to 20 easy a day if you're just liking and commenting on something. Like go through your friends list and just like, that's just going to make your stuff pop up more. I love Tara shared that with me a couple weeks ago, and I thought that was really smart. The other thing I wanted to share was, I know it can seem really intimidating to invite to coaching, especially like I said, because maybe you're a newer coach and you don't feel like you know what you're doing yet. And that's okay, because we are all here to help you get a new coach started. But I think we overcomplicate the invite a lot of the time. And just today I've been talking with a few people about coaching, and our conversation kind of had gone cold. And I just sent her back a message, because it's like she was still commenting on my things through our conversation. And I just said, girl, so are we doing this or what? That's all I said. She knew what I was talking about, because we've been talking about it back and forth. And so I want to challenge you guys today to go back through maybe some past invites that you have talked with, the conversations you've had with people about coaching, and maybe they had objections or concerns, and just say, look, I've got some huge goals for 2021 and I can't get your name out of my head. I think we need to talk more about coaching. Something as simple as that. And then it just gets that ball rolling, because you could even say something like, what do you think? And they could come back and be like, no, girl, life's crazy. I can't do that right now. But that's okay. At least they responded to you, and at least you can check them off your list. And then again, now that you've reignited that conversation with them via Messenger or however, they're going to start seeing your stuff more. I know we had our team cup call this morning, and I was talking with Ashley and Chanel, and they were saying how they get a lot more, well, Chanel especially, get more responses from people by sending texts. Like, people can't ignore your text message. And not that we want to spam people through their texts at all, but I think it would be really beneficial to like go to someone that you had talked to in the past and say something like that via text. You might get a response, whereas maybe on Messenger you wouldn't. And again, if it's a no, it's a no. That's okay. Like, we got to let that go, that we're afraid of hearing the word no. And just, I find a lot of the times, more often than not, that people are like, yes, I actually have thought about coaching, or that does seem like something that would be fun. Like, I always tend to make up somebody's mind for them before I let them respond, but then they always surprise me. So I want to challenge you guys to go out and send at least 5 coach invites today. If not, just follow-ups with people you had been talking to coaching about, or maybe they were a coach with you in the past. I just had someone sign up who was a coach once. It didn't work out. And now she's at a place in her life where she's ready to do it. So that's going to be my challenge for you guys today. Your first challenge, once you get your diamond graphics up in the group, I'll post those. You'll obviously put your goals there and then let us know when you send those 5 invites for today. Anything?
Izzy, can you kind of repeat? So you probably just like threw it off the top of your head, but like, so I have big goals for my team in 2021. What were you like, what would you say to them?
I'd say, I've been going over my goals for 2021 and I can't get your name out of my head. I think we need to talk more about coaching. What do you think? Or again, the simple invite that I love to use all the time is just, I think you're, especially with a challenger, like you're such an incredible challenger or whatever you call them to your people. I know you show up all the time for yourself. Have you ever considered being a coach? And just that simple invite is what I send people.
I've had I have several women in my group that I'm an ongoing group that I think would be amazing. And I have reached out to every single one of them. I have one, she's like in her 50s and she's amazing. She's actually probably she's like been really considering it, but I have others and the biggest response to me is I don't have time. And I don't know how to combat that in the sense that like, I'm lying if I tell you that it's only going to take you 30 minutes to an hour. If it only takes you a power hour, because if you really want to make it a business, it takes more than an hour a day to do this. And I get it. And I feel like a lot of my friends are teachers that I talk to, and I know like we are fully virtual. We are putting in 20 more hours a week fully virtual than we would in person. So it's like, I don't know how to tell you you're right, because right now I barely have enough time. Like I'm barely holding my head above water. So
what if like
I don't know how to combat that.
I hear you. What if you approach that as like, obviously, yes, we do work this business at a more full-time level, but maybe if you approach them like, what if you could get your Shakeology paid for? And you could do that within spending about 30 minutes a day. Because I really do think, because I did this, I grew my business to diamond in the first 6 months with literally 1 hour a day. And I was hitting Success Club every month, but I was doing a lot, I was very intentional. But maybe you could share with them like, what if we could get your Shakeology paid for and you basically do what you do now, but you get to invite some people to do it with you, and I can give you the tools on how to get that done in the pockets of your day. Like maybe breaking it down that way. And they're like, oh, well, yeah, if I could get my Shakeology. And it's kind of getting them in without letting them knowing you're getting them in. But obviously if they're interested in coaching, it's just intimidating at the time to think like, oh, I need to have all this extra time. And then as time goes on, they learn the things to do and how to show up consistently, but they're kind of starting with things that fit more in their time frame.
Yeah, because I think people, so they're like, I can't do what you do. I'm like, well, you don't really have to. I'm not asking you to run 3 challenge groups at one time.
Yeah, exactly. And you thinking back, like you didn't do that in the beginning, like I didn't do the things I do now when I was a brand new coach. So it's hard sometimes because we are so in it that we're like, oh yeah, I guess I really just had a challenge group and invited a couple people to do it with me in the beginning. And that was manageable.
My problem I'm having is like, I'll get people, they'll message me, like I don't even reach out to them yet. And they'll message me and they'll be super interested. And then I'll do the share a cart for them, like everything they wanted. And then they see the price and like, no, how about I just watch you until after you're done being pregnant, and then I can see real results. So like I take other people's results and share those with them. Like, see, this has been done by other people and I've shared my past results, and they're just like, nah, you're pregnant, maybe I'll wait. It's like,
that's tough. And
I think you should.
I was just going to say, I think the cost objection is always a cop out. I think it's never really about the cost, and they're just projecting something that they can say, oh, you're pregnant or whatever. They're giving themselves an out because of that, unfortunately. But go ahead, whoever was going to talk.
Oh, I was just going to say, like, using our resources. I know Kaylin was just pregnant for a whole year, and she, like, her business went really well when she was coaching. So maybe like go to Team Fired Up and like find her name and private message her and be like, hey, I'm pregnant. I know you just had a baby a couple months ago. And then like talk to her about the objections because she could relate to that. So that might help you answer questions as well of other people. Like you don't necessarily have to use your direct coach, like we're all a team. And I know you're newer. And so like just reaching out to us individually or like people that have like stories similar to you will definitely help you as well.
And I always say the cost personally before I send the share cart because I don't want there to be surprises. And then if I do get an objection after that, it's typically the whole, well, I don't know if I'm going to want to continue the supplements. And I always say the moment your order ships, we can cancel it if you don't want to continue it, but this is how you're going to save the most money. And then by the time it ships, most of them are like, okay, well, I'll try it. And then we can cancel too. But I always tend to send the price before.
And also, a lot of people think it's monthly. I've learned that is a huge misconception. So they might think when they're seeing that that's their monthly prices. So I always, as soon as someone's like, oh, I can't afford that, my first response is, oh, I just want to make sure you understand it's a huge misconception that this is an annual price or like a one-time price and then you just renew your bod afterwards. You know, there's no monthly cost unless you are going to continue with your supplements. So like Michelle, like I come up with that right before because I think a lot of people think that is what we pay monthly, not, I'm like for a whole year and I always call it the total solution or the total package because like you get everything bundled in one price for the whole year, lifetime for your nutrition.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I always mention that it's a year long, not monthly, because, you know, I had that misconception at first, the very first time I ever signed up for Beachbody ever. And like this month, I've kind of just seen in my mom groups that some of them are like, what is everyone doing for energy? So I'll just like leave a quick message with a link. And that's where I'm getting people now. And I'm just like, oh, okay.
Perfect.
I was just going to say, as far as the cost thing goes, I started doing something that made a mindset shift for me. Whenever people would, we'd be having a great conversation, they were super excited to sign up. And then the second they said, okay, how much does it cost? I went, because I knew that was when I was going to lose them. And so I started saying, this is my favorite part. I would tell myself that as well as tell them that. You are not going to believe the value that you're going to get with this challenge pack. And yes, you can on go with the refills, but the first thing that you get is, it's unbelievable. Nobody can get this kind of value with this. Listen to how much you're going to get for $160. It's like,
I love that.
It's so huge that if you feel good about it, that they will go, oh, wow, really? And not always, but at least you stop freaking out about having to say how much it costs.
And I think Kinsey taught me, I think what Kinsey also taught me too was that always give a higher price point too. Like I want them to buy the 160 challenge pack, but I always offer the deluxe challenge pack because I want them to see, oh, there's an expensive option. I'll go with the lesser option, because if you just give the challenge pack, they're still going to be fishing for the lesser option. And more often than not, people like kind of ask like, what is Energize? And then they end up getting the deluxe anyway. But yeah, I would definitely give like 2 options. I don't give too many because then people get overwhelmed with things, but give a more expensive price option. Sorry, Steph.
I was going to say, I do the same thing where I always recommend the first one, and I have just about a 50-50 split between the 160 and the 220. So what I always do is I ask a lot of questions. I say, tell me what typical day in the life of Kinsey looks like. What do you eat? What do you drink? What do you snack on? I ask them, when was the last time you worked out? Do you have any injuries? I'm asking a lot of questions, and then I can create a cart, what I think is best. So I say, I'm going to send you 2 options. The first one's the one I always recommend, and here's why. And I'll talk about Shakeology. I'll say, hey, you mentioned you don't really have time for breakfast in the morning. This will be a perfect quick breakfast you can have on the go. But it also has a performance line. And here's why you're going to need this. You haven't worked out in a year. And let's be honest, we're going to get our butts in gear and you're going to be sore. So you're going to be sore as heck. And this will help you be able to walk the next day. And you're going to mix that Energize. And as soon as it kicks in, you're going to work out non-negotiable because it's your go-go juice. So this is what I recommend because it has what you need. And 9 times out of 10, if people don't get the performance line, they go back and order it and it's more money. So that's what I recommend first. And then I say the second option, and I send a graphic, I said it's one or the other, Shakeology or performance, no pressure either way, which one do you like? And 9 times out of 10, they go for the bigger one. And I truly like, I'm like, it's a better deal for them. And I feel really bad when they come back and they're like, hey, I think I need that performance line, and they're paying a ton more. So I just say it like it is. You're going to need this. That's what I recommend. But I've had a couple customers, like I've talked about, you know, products nonstop on my stories. They reach out, we talk all the questions, and I send the 220 price range. And I've had them say, oh, that's it. Like literally hearing that said changed my whole mindset, because I was like, that's so true. Literally, that is it. $220 for everything you get is a steal. And so like Steph was saying, like having that mindset going in, like this is the best part. You're not even gonna believe it. I used to like send the price and be like, send. Oh, like they're gonna say no, they're gonna say no. And now I'm like, hey, if they say no, that's on them, but this is such a good deal. And I will tell people if they're like, oh, that's kind of expensive. I'm like, as a coach, when I like Kickoff and I get the bundle, like for the 9-week control freak, I was telling people, you're paying the same price I'm paying. It's no cheaper. That's how good of a deal it is. It is as cheap as it gets. So I think having that like confidence going in will be a game changer.
Yes, I love that. I'm writing notes for myself. It's so true. It is all about, and Ashley was just sharing that she has friends that are like doing this monthly, like her friend kind of started her own coaching business. She's basically being like a Beachbody coach, but these people are signing up with her for like $2,000 a month, like for her to coach them. Like what? So we have so much value in what we have to offer people for an incredible price. And that is the mindset that you have to go in with and be unapologetic about it, because it is such a great deal. All right. Is there anything else, you guys? I'm excited.
How do you convince people? So how do you convince people? I have a lot of people that are like, oh, I just want the workouts. Oh, I just want the workouts. Oh, I just want the workouts. And like, they totally have this bad mindset about the supplements. And I know it's because of other supplements that they've either tried and they're just not good, or, for whatever reason. That's what I've been getting a lot is I just want BOD. I just want BOD. And so like, it's kind of discouraging to me in a sense, but at the same time, like, I'm like, how do I change people's minds?
I think for me, the biggest objection I get is to Shakeology. So then I'll say, like McKenna just said, I mean, I think we can all sell Energize all day long. Like, who doesn't want that? So I will say that's totally fine. There's actually another bundle that has Recover in it, which, like McKenna said, like, you haven't worked out in a long time, you're going to be sore as heck. Let's at least get you started with that. It tastes like chocolate milk. And Energize, which you will love. And then just remind them there's a 30-day money back guarantee, even if they don't want any of it. So maybe reassure them with that too, but give them another option before, and just say, like, your body is going to be working hard. You need to be able to support your nutrition and fuel your body with the right things, and just say, this is what I found that gets people the most success when they sign up this way.
And then what I do after that, if they still insist on no, I don't offer a year workout. I say, that's fine. So let's get you set up with our quarterly workouts. And then I get them signed up with the quarterly workouts. And then I either throw in the cart a thing of Energize, a performance line sampler pack, or a Shakeology sampler pack. And I say, hey, I sent you the link. I also added a sampler pack because you kind of sounded maybe interested in Energize, but you weren't sure. So then you can try the flavors and see what you think. And then if you like it, we can go from there. So there's 2 benefits to that. And I always say, if you don't want it, you can remove it on your end, but I just love it. 9 times out of 10, they're going to freaking get it. Or I also will say, like, hey, they have like products recommended at a discount at checkout, and people will add stuff like, hey, I added a 3-day refresh. But also doing the 3 months only, then as their 3 months is almost up, you can check back in. They've been in your challenge group. They're seeing people sharing about the product and say, hey, your on-demand quarterly is about up. This is a chance where we can actually renew with a challenge pack that we talked about a few months ago. Do you want to try that performance line we talked about? I feel like that's a better option because if I sell them the year, I kind of feel bad being like, hey, now let's have you pay $110 for this product when you could have paid $160 for the whole year. So I feel like it kind of leaves the door open. And honestly, as a coach, you get more commission that way. If they're getting charged quarterly, the commission rate's higher. So I feel like it's a win-win. So the only time I sign people up just with the $99 is if they've seen it somewhere else, like on the website, and they're like, hey, I just want to do the $99 workout I saw online, but I want to sign up with you. Then I'm like, okay. But usually I don't even mention it's an option.
And with the price of BOD going up from $39 to $59, I think they're going to see the value here super soon. And I think we're going to get less of the cost objection when that price starts rolling out.
And I also pinpoint the fact that we get access to the nutrition plans. Like, that's where I tell people, I'm like, look, basically you're getting the supplements for free. If you don't like it, go sell it on a yard sale site. And I said, every person that has been in my group who has only signed up for Beachbody On Demand at some point has come to me to buy the nutrition plans, because you're only going to make it so far with workouts. You've got to focus on your nutrition. And right now you're going to pay an extra $60 to get the total package. Whereas 6 months to a year from now, you're going to want to get it anyway, and you're going to pay double that money. And I haven't sold a $99 Beachbody On Demand in probably a year now, because since they've added the nutrition in, that is where my go-to is. Like, you are getting everything you need. I'm giving you every tool to be successful in your journey. If you don't like the shakes or you don't want to drink them, go and sell them. It's a freebie. Like, that's just coming with your package. I like it. Look at, they're spending their money on nutrition and fitness, not on supplements.
Yes.
Can I ask first of all, I want to speak to what Tara just said. That being able to sell them on the nutrition is because you've already asked them the questions, what it is that they want. So Jacqueline, if they told you they don't want to just exercise, but they want to lose weight, then they have to have a nutrition program. So you're helping them with that. Also, you're saying this is the benefit of having a coach, because I'm helping you get the most bang for your buck. Like, I want to save you money. I'm not trying to sell you something. I'm trying to save you something. So that's that. But McKenna, are you saying that you would still offer a 3-month only? You would send them a 3-month only even after the price goes up? Like, that's amazing. I hadn't even considered that I would only send. I always tell them that it's $99 for a year. Like, they have two choices. They can buy it for a year, or they can add all of this for $60. You never do that? That's amazing.
I love, and then like as she said, you could have an excuse to contact them in 3 months and say, like, how's it going? Do you want to do this instead and renew for cheaper?
Yeah, and I genuinely feel like it's a disservice to offer them the $99 because they're kind of stuck for a year just getting the workouts versus being like, hey, let's get you the 14-day free trial, and then you've got the 3 months to do it, and then we can touch base, see how it's going, see if we need to reassess, and give them the option. So I mean, the only $99 on-demand charges I see come through my coach office is renewals if they don't upgrade to a challenge pack. But I'm probably still going to keep going with that, even though it's more. I think it'll be more of a way to convince them to upgrade. And I typed in there, but I have people that are really reluctant about the home direct. Like, they feel like they're going to be tricked. And I'll say, hey, let me send you customer services number now before you even order. And as soon as you get that confirmation email, if you want, you can go ahead and call and cancel all your future orders, because I don't want people to think I'm going to trick them into them buying and they aren't going to know how to cancel. So I'm just like, hey, if you're really worried, let's get you that 1 month, and then you can just cancel the rest. That's no big deal.
Yeah.
And I also, it's kind of sometimes time consuming, but I notify everyone when their first shipment. I tell them, so when I send them like they're welcome, just Facebook, when I send them the link, I say, here's just a couple of things. Like, one, it is on home direct. Please keep it that way, because it helps me in my business. I'm just straight up with them. But then I'm like, I will notify you before your next shipment comes out, and I will show you how you can either manage your account, you can skip a month, you can skip every 2 weeks, or you can cancel it. So I do reach out. Sometimes I forget, but it's very rare. I reach out to everyone. And sometimes I do it with my friends who I know they're just keeping it open for me. So every once in a while I let them buy one accidentally, and then I'll like reach out again and be like, hey, it's going to ship. So just a heads up, go back in and manage it. So I kind of know who's, you know, who doesn't really want to spend the money and who doesn't really care. But I always do it for their first shipment.
Love that. All right, I love all of this. This is what I love about this. Okay, all this masterminding. I'm hearing things that I never heard before. This is awesome. Okay, but I want to kind of wrap things up, you guys, because I know it's getting to be about an hour. So your goal for today is to go send 5 coach invites or re-invites. Other people, you can look at who's buying Shakeology consistently in your business. Go to your coach office, go to subscription orders, click customers and drag your Shakeology thing down so you can see who's consistently ordering Shakeology. Invite that person to be a discount coach today, okay? Anyone military, invite them to be a discount coach. Who's your customers today? Anyone who has told you no in the past, invite them, okay? So there are people out there. We just have to be creative about where are those people, who can I invite, and who could benefit from the discount. So those are all the ways that you can get people in your pipeline, in your downline, and help them get started as a coach or even just for the discount. Okay. Well, I'm excited. I'm pumped. Oh yeah, I did get a picture, Tara. I'll post it in the Level Up group. I did a boomerang and a picture. But I guess actually let's do one where we're all smiling because I kind of just did it when you guys were talking. Yeah, I'll do another one. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Okay, got it. All right, you guys. Well, happy Sunday, and we'll see you in the group.